Chris Sununu, the New Hampshire Republican governor, kind enough to join us right now. Governor, I'm sorry, I mean, that happened as we were waiting and blew out of a break here, but I'm wondering how important a subject this will be if it looks like we could be on the eve of yet another government shutdown and Washington's inability to get things done. What do you think?
Well, that's just the fact that we're talking about Washington, what Washington isn't doing, as opposed to what they are doing. As a governor in the state, I can tell you we have federal employees, we have federal programs. Those all are really critical, and they have to find a way to do this. There are pathways to getting this done. This isn't some impossible Rubik's Cube that can't be figured out. I appreciate the leadership on the Senate side. They're looking at amendments that deal with the border issue to try to make sure that what can happen in the House at least brings some of the folks over and find some consensus. But look, the fact that you have extremists, on one side kind of trying to hold the whole process hostage over, fiscal responsibility. And again, I'm a fiscal hawk. I'm the most fiscally responsible governor you're going to find. But the fact that they're doing that and supporting Trump, who isn't fiscally responsible at all, it's just politics. And folks just want to get stuff done. So there's a path there. They got to find it.
All right. Now, you mentioned Donald Trump. He has been among those that Republicans should stand their ground on this. And if it means the government is shut down, so be it. What do you think of that?
Look, I appreciate the fact that they want fiscal discipline, but that comes in a variety of different things. It isn't just about border security, right? I mean, border security is ultimately, very, very critical in this. And Biden has blown it, completely blown it. But at the end of the day, it's got to be about, what are the numbers? What is going to stay open? What isn't going to stay open? Where do they want cuts to see? Where do they want more efficiencies in the government? American public doesn't see any of those details. Yeah. They just see these headlines of not getting stuff done. And I think that brings a sense of mistrust into the system as a whole. I mean, the foundations are there, but there's a lot of mistrust. So show some transparency, show where those differences are. Don't just show leadership coming out and saying, sorry, we're still not there. The American public's smart. They deserve more of the details about why their programs are going to get shut down and why the government's going to come to a screeching halt.
All right. There are going to be 7 on that debate stage tonight, one less participant than the last go-round. Last time we chatted, Governor, were saying that the sooner this field gets widowed down, the better, presumably to take on Donald Trump. But he's running away with this thing, at least in the polls. So what are your thoughts now?
Well, he's definitely not running away with it. Not in New Hampshire, not in Iowa. I mean, polls in New Hampshire have him under 40%, with a third of his own supporters saying they would consider somebody else. And the field does keep getting smaller. That's a good sign. We had 14 candidates a couple months ago. We're down to 7 just in the second debate. So the process is working to winnow it down. And as I've always said, one-on-one, he loses. It doesn't mean he has to be one-on-one with somebody in Iowa and New Hampshire. But as you hit those Super Tuesday states, that's important. And on the national polls, be careful. It's not about national polls. It's about the Electoral College. Can he win Georgia? Can he win Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Arizona, Michigan? And right now he cannot. He'd get blown away in almost all those states.
So when
that
you
means
see this Washington Post poll, Governor, it might be an outlier, but it is Washington Post. No slouches in this thing, and has Donald Trump up by 10 points. That's more than just the margin of error, right?
Yeah, look, I've said all along that Donald Trump can't win in November of 2024, and Joe Biden's doing an incredible job proving me wrong. I mean, Joe Biden is falling down at every single step of the way. I think what that poll says more than anything is Biden's more likely not to be on the top of that ticket than even Trump is, because I think the Democrat Party sees it. They know the realities. As bad as Joe Biden is today, he's going to be even worse by this time next year when the conventions roll around. And I don't think the Democrat Party is going to have it. So there's going to be some other machination, I think, other candidates trying to vie for that space on the ticket. And again, if it's a new candidate versus Trump, again, they're going to go with the new boss. So I just want to win. I'm a Republican that just wants to win, and I don't want to lose my governorships, my congressional seats. He affects the ticket.
Got it. All right. We'll watch it closely. Chris Sununu, New Hampshire Republican governor. Always good seeing you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.